Have you ever imagined waiting your whole life for love, only to have it arrive in a way you could never have imagined? That's exactly what happened to Cole McGraw, a rugged cowboy whose life had been nothing but endless plains, dusty trails, and nights under the stars. Cole had always dreamed of a companion, a woman who would warm his cabin, laugh with him around the campfire, and share the silence of the prairie without fear or judgment. So when he finally sent for a mail-order bride, he thought he had meticulously planned every detail. He pictured a delicate, soft-spoken woman stepping off the wagon, shyly smiling, hair neatly braided, and hands gentle as they reached for his. Every night he had imagined her in the flickering firelight, telling stories of her life back east, while he listened, mesmerized by the simple perfection of a life finally complete. But nothing could have prepared him for what reality would throw at him. The day the wagon creaked into town, Cole's heart thudded harder than a wild stallion in a stampede. He tightened his hat, adjusted his coat, and prepared to introduce himself with a calm he didn't feel. The wagon door swung open, and there she stood, but not in any way he had imagined. Towering over the edge of the wagon, twice the size of any woman he'd ever seen, the Apache woman's presence was immediately commanding. Her eyes, dark and fierce, scanned the horizon before resting on him. The air seemed to tighten around Cole, and for the first time in years, he felt genuinely small. Her moccasin-clad feet hit the wooden street, and a hush fell over the few townsfolk watching. He swallowed hard as his mind raced to reconcile the delicate bride he had imagined with the fierce warrior who now stood before him. She was tall, muscular, with a powerful stance that spoke of a life hardened by survival, not by sewing quilts or baking bread. Her long hair fell in thick black waves, and every movement seemed deliberate, controlled, and awe-inspiring. Cole's first instinct was fear that this woman might crush him without trying, but beneath it was a strange curiosity, a spark of fascination that refused to die. The townspeople whispered among themselves, some in awe, some in disbelief, but Cole's gaze never left her. Finally, she spoke, her voice deep, rich, and commanding. "Are you the man who sent for me?" It wasn't timid. It wasn't soft. It was a voice that could bend mountains if it wanted, yet she asked a simple question that somehow broke the tension. Cole, blinking, nodded, his voice catching. "Why, yes, I am Cole McGraw." A small smile touched her lips, but it was fleeting, almost mischievous, as if she already knew the storm she had just unleashed in his carefully ordered life. And then she added, almost casually, "Well, I reckon we've got ourselves a problem, or maybe an adventure." At that moment, Cole realized this wasn't the delicate life he had imagined. This was something far greater, far more unpredictable. And as they stood there on the dusty street, sizing each other up, the prairie seemed to hold its breath, waiting to see what would happen next. Could he accept this unexpected gift, or would fear and old expectations chain him to a life half-lived? That choice, he would soon learn, was not just about love, but about courage, trust, and the discovery of a heart far larger than the one he had ever imagined he could open. But for now, he could only stare, utterly captivated by the sheer force of life standing in front of him, knowing his world had just changed forever. If you're loving the drama already, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because the story only gets wilder from here. Cole couldn't stop staring as she walked beside him, her presence filling every corner of the dusty trail, like a storm about to break. Her name, he would soon learn, was Nayeli, and everything about her was a contradiction to the fragile bride he had imagined. She was strong, confident, and unafraid of the wild world around them. At first, Cole felt completely out of his depth. His hands itched for control, but with Nayeli, control wasn't hers to give. She was the master of her own life. As they rode toward his cabin, he noticed the way she moved with the wind, how her gaze seemed to see everything, and how effortlessly she handled the horse, guiding it as if it were part of her body. For Cole, fear mingled with fascination. Every instinct screamed to be careful, yet his heart urged him to follow. That night, sitting by the fire, the silence between them was heavy but not uncomfortable. Nayeli studied the flames and finally spoke. "You expected someone fragile, didn't you?" Cole's throat tightened. I thought I knew what I wanted, he admitted. Naomi laughed softly, a sound that was both gentle and commanding. Life doesn't give us what we expect, Cole. It gives us what we need. Those words struck him deeper than any bullet or storm ever could. Slowly, he realized that this giant Apache woman, twice his size and far beyond anything he'd imagined, might just be the exact companion he didn't know he needed. For the first time, fear and admiration merged into something else, something tender and terrifying at the same time. As the fire crackled and shadows danced on their faces, Cole felt the first spark of something that could grow into love. Raw, unexpected, and unstoppable. The days that followed were anything but ordinary. Cole quickly realized that living with Naomi was like taming a wild river, unpredictable, powerful, and impossible to ignore. She chopped wood with ease, rode through storms without flinching, and spoke her mind boldly, leaving Cole both frustrated and utterly mesmerized. One afternoon, as they tended to the small ranch, a group of rough men from town sneered at them, mocking Cole for marrying a giant and daring Naomi to fight. Without hesitation, she stepped forward, her stance solid and unyielding, and with a single glare, silenced them faster than any gun ever could. Cole watched, heart pounding, realizing that she wasn't just strong, she was fearless, unbreakable, and the kind of woman who could protect him, his home, and his heart. That night, under the vast prairie sky, Cole admitted aloud, "I never imagined anyone like you." Naomi's eyes softened, and for the first time, the fierce warrior revealed a trace of vulnerability. "And I never imagined needing anyone," she whispered. In that fragile moment, Cole felt the walls around his heart crumble, replaced with something raw and beautiful. They laughed, argued, and shared stories into the quiet hours, learning that love could exist not only in delicacy but in strength, courage, and respect. The bond forming between them was unexpected, explosive, and undeniable. A union neither had predicted, yet both needed. Cole finally embraced Naomi's strength and spirit, realizing love wasn't what he expected but exactly what he needed. Together, they faced the wild, laughed, and loved fiercely. Proof that life's surprises can become its greatest blessings. Like and subscribe for more stories.